Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, that is Connor, and this is our weekly, well, usually weekly, TV news. And
Weekly-ish.
weekly-ish. We talk about trailers, we talk about renewals, cancellations, premiere dates, new shows in development. At the end of the episode, we'll pick our favourite episode of TV from the past week, or so, in this case. So normally we record this on Fridays, it goes up on Saturdays. That's traditionally what happens. Connor was sick for like the back half of last week. He was sick.
Yeah, we basically just did the first Maniac review because that's all I could get through.
We did that on Friday. Before that, the last day I think we recorded was the Tuesday. So you were out of commission Wednesday, Thursday. We got one small thing done on Friday, and then you were away at convention Saturday, Sunday. So because of that, everything schedule-wise gets thrown out the window, unfortunately. So what we're doing in terms of the news to catch up is we're doing TV news today. This is Monday. We're recording this. This will be up soon after we record it, if not early tomorrow. That being Tuesday. We're going to do a big trailer talk sometime midweek, which will be about 2 weeks or so worth of trailers. And then at the weekend, probably Friday, Saturday, we'll be doing a big movie news, which will be supersized in about 2 or so weeks worth of movie news. And that'll be it this week, and that's kind of making up for last week. But you're not getting another TV news at the end of this week. And then next week, end of next weekend, hopefully we're back to normal, having TV news, trailers, and movie news all kind of together.
Yes, because that will be the New York Comic Con weekend.
Yes. So that should be back to normal. Weirdly, the week after that, Connor's away on vacation. So what is probably going to happen then is I might do some solo news stuff that week because he's just gone for the entire week. So it's not happening.
Yeah, pretty much.
Per normal. But so that's what's happening. So we're doing this today, trailers midweek, and then at the weekend we're doing the big movie news, and they're all going to be supersized. And then next week, hopefully, we'll be back to the normal schedule of having all three of them from sort of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, roughly. So that's what we're going to do. So without further ado, we will dive into this week's fairly big news because it's just over a week's worth. And some big things happened. The quick things first, though. HBO has renewed The Deuce for a third season. It's also the final season. So we're getting one more season of The Deuce. Makes sense to me. It's critically very well received, including by us. Not that we are on I'm sure, on HBO's list of notable critics, but it's very well received. And it's getting a final season. But it's also very expensive looking because they authentically do the middle of New York in the 70s, and it never feels for a second like they're faking it.
No, but also on top of that, especially after this season, we had quite a considerable time jump. It does feel like, okay, if you're doing time jumps like that, it's only so long you can go to tell what is it ultimately a relatively finite story.
Yeah, you've got like a set period of time that you're telling the story over. So presumably in our time jump at the end of this season, or going into next season, and we'll do the sort of the bookend the trilogy, if you will, with the end of the heyday of the Deuce and the porn industry in New York. That makes a lot of sense. But it's also very expensive. Has a lot of cast, a big, huge cast. It makes a lot of sense that they don't want it going forever. It makes a lot of sense that HBO don't give it big seasons. They say no, do your prestige 8 episode, or I think it's 9 episodes this season.
9 this year. Yeah.
And we'll do one last season. It makes they did the same thing with The Leftovers, where they didn't give it a full third season. They said, no, we'll do a shorter one. It's 8 episodes. Finish off your story so it's complete. Because I think they're still sick of people asking them about Deadwood. They're sick of people asking them about shows that didn't get finished. So now they're like, no, we'll give them one small season. Well, to be fair, in this case, they were all small seasons, but.
I did see some tweets from showrunners implying that no, 3 seasons was always a plan,
which I imagine is probably true, and they probably, because of how things have kind of changed. I am not sure if The Wire would have been 5 seasons had it started even 5 years later.
No, that's fair. I mean, I have no reason to doubt them that they're saying, it was always 3 seasons. They have a very good relationship with HBO.
Oh,
They've
sure,
had a lot of shows with them.
What I'm saying is that they went in with the mentality of that and planned for that, knowing what their types of shows do now and how often they get to run now. Because I don't think it's because The Wire again was not like a commercial success, but it was critically really well written. And it has this legacy now. People talk about The Wire as one of the greatest shows of all time. You have to go back and watch The Wire. And I feel like that's kind of what it's almost like what they even like. I think from HBO's perspective, when they pick up the Deuce, originally like, no, we'll get 3 seasons out of this, and then that'll be a box set. Both in terms of what we can sell to people, but also what we can sell to streaming services, what we can sell to whatever.
Yeah, because you need to have enough to sell to streaming services now. Because a lot of the time you go, oh, there's one season of 8-10 episodes. People aren't that interested. You say, oh, there's 3 seasons. That's enough.
Well, 8 or 10's fine if it's a limited series. The problem is when it's not ending. It's not had an ending.
No, that's fair. But I think even limited series, I think streaming services, I think it's more attractive to them to have multiple seasons. Not like tons. I don't think they need like 8 or 9, but 3 to 4.
I think it's just a case of having an ending, because I think one of the things that's taken a long time for the studios to catch on to is that many people just won't start something if they know there's no ending. And to the point where some people won't start anything until they know it has an ending. Even if it's something that runs for 5 years, they'll wait until it's done, and then once they know it's getting a final season is when they'll actually start watching it and catching up.
Yeah, I don't go quite that far, but I know myself. Like if I go, oh, that doesn't have an ending, I might not watch it. There's very few things that I will actively go, no, I'm going to watch it anyway.
Yeah, it depends what it is. Like I'm sure I think I've made allowances, here or there, but yeah, I mean it kind of stands to reason that you what's the point of watching a 4-season show that it was meant to have a 5th season that was going to conclude the story but never did? It's hard to motivate yourself,
especially in today's age where there's so much choice. Where I can go, well, that's got an ending. I can watch 6 seasons of that instead.
You know what? Why play more of Walking Dead season 1 now that season 4 is never going to be finished?
Because season 1 is a goddamn masterpiece of gaming and is excellent on its own right, and you should play it. It's not even awful person.
It's not even that season 4 is not happening. They're getting 2 episodes of it out, and then the last 2 episodes are never happening. That's awful.
Yeah, no, that is atrocious.
It's finishing...
Season 1 is phenomenal. Play it, you prick.
Finishing mid-season. I've played half of it.
That's worse.
Do you know what it is,
You're
though?
awful.
I'll be honest, Telltale games, I find them frustrating to play. They have this weird thing where, like, I can play a nice, like, what people would call a walking simulator, right? Where you're just walking around, like, finding stuff and reading about stuff. But for some reason, a game that's basically all, like, multiple dialogue options, I find really boring to play. Even if the story's good. I get really frustrated. I feel antsy that I'm not doing anything else.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a gameplay.
You're still an awful
problem.
person.
I would much rather just watch it than I would play it, I guess, is what I'm saying.
It's so good.
But the point is the Deuce is getting a final season, 3rd and final season. Extremely high quality show. I am happy for it. I'm happy to get another season. I'm happy to know that it's ending, that they know it's ending, and they can have its conclusion.
Yeah, this is all good news.
It'll make it a very tight, just over 20 episode show, really, all things considered.
Yeah, I'm not going and going, oh, I'm sad I'm not getting 5 seasons of this. No, 3 seasons is fine. I'm happy with this for this show.
Well, it'll be a tight 25, give or take, episodes for the whole thing, and that's cool. So, also worth mentioning, we don't watch this show, but Snowfall got renewed for season 3 on FX. I know some people like that show. So
season 3 already.
Yeah, I know. Time passes. We get a premiere date for Daredevil season 3. That's coming October 19th.
Cool. I haven't watched the trailer.
I did not watch the trailer either because, well, we both basically gave up. If I say that sentence correctly, on the Marvel Netflix stuff.
That's how little you give a shit about Daredevil. It's like, I'm not going to bother with this sentence.
Well, the sad part is, though, is I love season 1 of Daredevil. I really like season 1 of Daredevil.
And the first 4 episodes of season 2.
And the first 4 episodes of season 2 were very good. But there's been a lot change since those 4 episodes. Those were the last things that I loved about Marvel Netflix. Everything since then has been just kind of continuously just going down. Oh, okay, admittedly, Defenders was a step up from Iron Fist, but it was still in this really mediocre kind of...
Yeah, well, it wasn't hard to step up from Iron Fist, though.
Yeah, and yeah, I'm good. But obviously, if you're looking forward to Daredevil, October 19th, can I have your Daredevil and eat it too?
I'll be honest, I'm rather glad that it's then, because it means there's not something else that day, and that's the day I get back after from vacation, and it's like, okay, everything that we needed to catch up on would have to have been thrown out the
Yeah,
window to
yeah.
do Daredevil. And now it's like, no.
We're going to have a very busy weekend that weekend without anything from Netflix launching that we have to cover. So no, it's good. We got some trailers this week. Speaking of Netflix, we get a full trailer for The Haunting of Hill House, which is launching October 12th. This is the one that I'm going to do on my own because Connor's away for the whole week, so I'm just going to fly through it myself. This is the same story that The Haunting is based on. If you've ever seen The Haunting, the classic movie, and Carla Gugino's in it. Mike Flanagan's directing it. We'd had like teasers before, but they were very vague, just like images and no real plot. I've not actually
seen any of them, knowing that they were just like, it's not really a trailer. I never bothered.
There wasn't really anything in them outside of a little bit of tone. Whereas this outright was giving you a sense of maybe what some of the plot's going to be, and it largely focuses on the children, who seems to take place over 2 time periods where you see them as adults and you see them as kids with their mother played by Carla Gugino, and they're basically like talking about their nightmares, and then they start describing the nightmares like, what if we having nightmares about this darkness, and then they basically describe themselves getting older and being so miserable that one is like a drug addict and wants to commit suicide, and the daughter wants to commit suicide as well, and it's like this really dark, ridiculous thing for a kid to say, of describing this life where everything just goes bad.
Yeah, this scene in the trailer has me a little almost concerned, because it plays really well in the trailer where you're cutting around all these other things as they're saying it, right?
Sure.
But when you're presenting that in the show, are they cutting around to all these other things during that too? Is this just, okay, no, that's kind of what you're getting in the episode? Or is it, no, they're talking, they're just having this monologue?
I wouldn't be concerned. I think a monologue can work.
It can. It felt like to me at least, it felt like quite a long monologue from kids to be sat in that room.
I mean, it depends. Like who knows how the trailer's editing it to make it work without just cutting around. We have no idea.
No, that's exactly my point. I was a little just skeptical, but it could be just the trailer.
I actually really liked this conceit. It felt unique. I never feel like I've heard a kid say they're worried about growing old and wanting to commit suicide. Like that is such a weirdly dark, specific thing that I don't think I've heard from a movie before or a TV show. That I was kind of like, this is kind of interesting. Like,
this is the thing. I really like it in the trailer. I'm just like, okay, but how does this play in an episode? It's a weird, right?
It's just a weird concern to me because even if that scene's a bit monologue-y, this one scene.
No, it is. It's just. So,
I don't know. It looks pretty good. Like, I'm actually kind of looking forward to it now. I was looking forward to it anyway because I like the director, but I'm intrigued because I wasn't sure how they were going to adapt it for a 10-episode show, because I've seen the original, I've seen the remake as well actually, but
by all accounts, it's not really close to the actual story at all.
No,
what people have been saying.
Seemingly not. Certainly not from what I remember the original film. Never read the book, of course, though, so I have no idea if it's taken more from the book or if it's...
No, this is people who were fans of the book going, I recognise like one thing from the book in this entire trailer.
Well, that's how you make a 10-episode show out of it then. You just... You take the premise and you run with it in a direction that's all your own. A creepy house with creepy things happening. But no, that's interesting. So that's launching October 12th. That'll be some nice October viewing, Halloween viewing. I'll be
just
covering that.
That said, I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to watching it now.
Oh yeah, because you're not covering it with this. Yeah.
Now that I'm not covering it, I'm like, well, am I going to sit down and watch it? Am I going to get the time? Because if I don't do it in October, let's be honest, I'm probably not going to do it this year.
No, that's true. Maybe it'll be something. It's the sort of thing, maybe if a season 2 rolls around next October, maybe it'd be worth catching up on.
Yeah, that's true.
That'd be motivation maybe next year, especially if I rave about it. It's one thing if I come out and say, it was okay. Yeah,
if you tell me, it's amazing, sure, I might. I'd be more inclined.
Speaking of trailers, we also got a trailer for Doctor Who, which is launching pretty soon. Sunday, October 7th. There you go. I was right. I got it right. I wasn't confident, but I got it right. Yeah, it was just a bit more of her running around as a doctor, saying very doctory lines of being in charge and commanding the situation and so on. And glorious 2.35 to 1.
Yeah, yeah, which has been because we've seen this before where they've cut trailers down into that. But no, it seems to be that's actually what we're getting this time.
Between this and Maniac, I'm getting all these anamorphic TV shows. It's nice.
Yeah, and John, I'd seen random interviews with the new showrunner mention how kind of inspired by Star Trek for his approach. And I really felt that. I really felt the sci-fi approach to this season in this trailer with all the ships and stuff going on and some of the setting, just location-wise, the style, the visuals.
It looked very actiony though, which I mean, I guess if you say it's like the modern Star Trek movies, and fair enough, but
yeah, but they could be just cutting the action in for the trailers. Who knows?
Yeah, well, that's true. Even Star Trek itself will be guilty of that. But Star Trek to me is a bit more slow and talking and whatnot.
No, it's true.
So.
But I like the look. It seems to be leaning more into the sci-fi than usual.
It is. I'm just excited to see someone else ride it. Someone else.
Oh, me too.
Run the ship, and I like Broadchurch season 1. I haven't seen the second 2 seasons, but I did see the first one. So, and it was very good.
I have not. I'm familiar with Chibnall's previous Doctor Who work and Torchwood, which I love.
Yeah, I like Torchwood.
Yeah, well, first 2 seasons, love those. Stand by those. The rest, whatever.
I didn't dislike. Children of what's the third one called?
Was it Children of Earth?
Children of Earth. No, because I almost said Children of Men. I'm like, it's not that. It's definitely not that.
Children of Earth, maybe. It was all right. I didn't. I don't know. Didn't love it as much.
Yeah.
Okay. But I did like the trailer though. I thought it was interesting to me that they're still not revealing any of the new music because it's a new composer for the first time for modern Who. That's
not that weird though. Many TV shows and movies won't reveal even a hint of their music in the trailers.
No, they won't. But Doctor Who usually does because it's been Murray Gold for the past decade, and we kind of know what his Doctor Who sounds like. So we usually their trailers have snippets, but nothing this time. So that's going to be interesting to hear what it sounds like.
Yeah. I don't think it's that weird, but yeah.
No, it's not weird overall. Just a little bit unusual for Who.
Yeah. Nothing really stuck out to me about the trailer. It looked fine, but nothing stuck out as like, here's your hook, here's your different thing. Other than some women. Other than that, but we already knew that. Yeah. We've known that for a while.
Which I can't wait to shut people down because they've said we didn't even write. The writers who he chose didn't know that it was a female doctor. It was just like, so in the script it said he constantly. They just never told them so it couldn't influence what the stories were that they were writing.
Okay, but arguably is good or bad depending on your perspective.
No, it's true. I imagine the ones that he writes himself, the start and end, they'll have that baked in a bit more. But I think it would be more just so. For the people who complain, going, "Oh, they've changed it," they're accommodating all this stuff into it, and that's not my Doctor Who, and you'll be like, "Well, no, it's exactly the same scripts."
Yeah. But hey, so that's Doctor Who. So here's the thing that happened this past week. That was the Emmys. The Emmys happened. We should probably discuss that a little bit. I've got some stats just for comparison's sake between shows and networks and whatnot, but just. In terms of some of the bigger winners here.
What's the stat of how little we usually care about the Emmys?
Don't know, 15%, something in that range.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Outstanding drama series went to Game of Thrones, shocking horror. Beating notably their Handmaid's Tale, Stranger Things, Westworld, in terms of what we cover. Americans there as well, so a lot of people love that. Crown was obviously a big one. This Is Us. Notably, This Is Us is the only network show that was in that category. Outstanding comedy series went to The Marvelous Miss Maisel from Amazon. So Amazon, riding high. That's the first big one, I think. Well, it's not the first big one because they did Transparent, right? So.
Yeah, and they had another one as well. Something to do with Mozart. Can't remember the full name of it. But that one did well last year, I think.
Limited series went to the assassination of Gianni Versace, American Crime Story, which did beat out Godless, which we did like a lot.
As a crime.
But, you know. In terms of acting, Bill Hader got lead actor in a comedy series for Barry, which I know Tim loves. Tim was recommended.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan got the actress comedy series for Midge. Sorry, for the character's called Midge from the Marvelous Miss Maisel. I just assumed it was like,
Midge.
Midge.
What the hell's Midge?
Midge, yeah, that hit TV show Midge. Yeah, everyone knows Midge. Lead actor in a drama series went to Matthew Rhys for Philip Jennings in The Americans, so that's cool. Claire Foy got it for The Crown for lead actress in a drama series. Yeah. I still would have went with Elizabeth Moss from what I'd seen, but you know, I won't fight.
When you say from what you've seen, I assume you've seen a trailer for The Crown, and that's about it.
No, I mean, out of the options I've seen, I'd pick Elizabeth Moss. Yeah. I wasn't being unreasonable.
I probably would too, but Claire Foy did a really great performance.
Yeah, so no, I mean that's the big stuff. I'm just scrolling down to see if there's any other awards that are
direction, music, anything interesting in those?
Directing, Marvelous Miss Maisel for comedy series, The Crown for drama series. They're really boring. They just kind of pick one thing and
same 3 or 4 over and over.
Same for writing, Marvelous Miss Maisel. Although drama series at The Americans for episode start. So that's cool. In terms of stats though that I've got noted down, which
I mean, I think just before we say that, the real credits. I know we mentioned this when the nominations came up, but no Twin Peaks. What's the point?
I think it did get a nomination in the limited series or something like
that. Did it? Okay. I think it got like one nomination somewhere, but
it didn't win anything.
How it didn't get Best Actor nomination?
So in terms of what was broadcast, Netflix won with 7 awards. HBO had 6, Amazon had 5, which I think is the most Amazon's ever had. But no, look at the 3 that were winning though: Netflix, HBO, and Amazon, and then FX was next, also with 5 actually. And then the rest for what was broadcast, ABC got 1, NBC got 1, and VH1 got 1. But there's more to it than that though, because if you count, where's my other chart here? The Creative Arts Emmys, which is kind of like all of the Emmys too small to put on the actual televised Emmy Awards.
Sure.
Which inflates the number quite a bit. HBO and Netflix actually tied in total with 23 each. So they're gunning for each other. NBC had 16 in total, which is amazing given that it only had 1 on the televised broadcast.
Yeah, that's quite the leap.
Yeah.
Tells you how many shit Emmys they put on this one, doesn't it?
FX Network's got 12 overall, CNN got 8, Prime Video got 8, National Geographic got 5. So obviously there's some documentary and variety awards and so on. And then further down the list. But yeah, so I thought that was interesting. In terms of shows, what got the most? Marvelous Miss Maisel got 5. So all of Amazon's awards, all 5 of them, all that show.
Give it time.
Yeah,
Amazon, they get in there.
Reference coming. Assassination of Gianni Versace got 3 for FX. Americans got 2 for FX. So it was a lot more spread out for HBO and Netflix. We weren't even in the top few there. 2 for Barry, 2 for Game of Thrones, 2 for The Crown, 2 for Godless. Black Mirror got 1, of course. USS Callister got a TV movie, which is what they count those as.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I can see that one especially is definitely long enough.
I don't think lengthy. I think they've just always been nominated for TV movie, like those episodes.
Yeah, I think they probably have, but there's some that I would say, yeah, that's a TV movie, and others where I'd be like, no, that's just an episode.
They're either all TV movies or they're not.
I know that, but I'm just saying, in my mind, they're not all equal.
In your weird mind, let's just leave it at that. You're weirdo.
It's a strange, horrific place.
All right, let's move on to some other things. So here's something interesting. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are going to compose the music for Watchmen.
I'm down. I love their stuff together.
I am fond of what I've heard. It's very unique sounding. It's got a definite edge to it. I think it'll give Watchmen an identity that separates it from a lot of other TV, and definitely separates it from the movie, which was just Zack Snyder's playlist and nothing else.
I'll be honest. I like that movie well enough.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember a single piece of music that was in it.
I remember 99 Red Balloons playing at a funeral.
I'll take your word for
it. So we have casting for Stargirl, actually, believe it or not.
Okay.
Stargirl, which is funny because off air, just a conversation we were having the other day, was about the order of these DC shows on the DC universe and how the order we were expecting them in. And I think we both forgot Stargirl existed. And given where it is in the casting, now they've cast their lead, it seems like it'll probably be right after Swamp Thing. And it's not even out of the realm of possibility it could be before Swamp Thing, but probably after.
I would say probably after, but they might have a quicker turnaround given the effects and prosthetics they might be using on Swamp Thing.
I don't even think it's down to that. I mean, it could be down to that, but they're both casting right now. Which one happens to just finish first could go either way, to be honest. Like, there's not really much in it, but the fact that this is moving ahead, it's really happening. There's actually going to be a Stargirl TV show. Breck Bassinger has been cast, who I have never heard of this person. She was on Bella and the Bulldogs, which was a Nickelodeon show. So clearly she's obviously younger. She's just sort of coming to that age where she's playing teen characters now, which makes sense. Interestingly, we do actually have a brief description of the Stargirl show.
Okay.
Bassinger Stargirl, aka Courtney Whitmore, is described as a high school sophomore who inspires an unlikely group of young heroes, the Justice Society of America, to stop the villains of the past.
Okay.
That makes sense to me. She's going to form a new young JSA, inspired presumably by the original, because obviously her whole thing is that she was always a younger member. She came in after her dad or whatever was already part of the JSA. So, you know,
that's not what was surprising me. It was more I wasn't like going, okay, I'm not confused. I'm just shocked that they're doing JSA stuff at all.
No, this is baked into the JSA. What I think this will be is we'll hear about the original JSA, but maybe not see them in season 1. But there'll be the inspiration for her to build a team. Yeah. And she'll form this young team. But it's interesting, it's a Stargirl solo show where she's still going to be doing this specifically. But then, obviously, we want an actual JSA show that will have all the old guys in it as well, so that's fine.
Yes, please. It's coming next. This is the setup. This is the Titans to the later Doom Patrol.
But better, hopefully.
But hopefully better, obviously. Yeah.
And also, actually, the article even says here, Stargirl is scheduled to debut in 2019.
Okay, that makes sense. We've been told they want to have content every week.
No, it does. But it's just, no, I was like, oh, because we heard about Stargirl, I was like, okay, this is like the 5th thing they've announced, it's probably miles away. So, no, 2019, it'll probably be around in about a year's time.
Yeah, it'll be at the back end of 2019, sure, but seems perfectly feasible. No reason why it won't.
Speaking of DC stuff, we have some casting for the crossover coming up, the CW crossover between Supergirl, Arrow, and The Flash. Cassandra Jean Amell, presumably the wife of Stephen Amell, has been cast as Nora Freeze.
Okay.
Mr. Freeze's wife. Just for the record, that's what we're talking about here. But for anyone who didn't pick up on that.
Is she just going to be in a cryosleep the whole episode? And it's more just a cameo casting?
I mean, I'm assuming she's an actress. If she isn't, and this is just like, oh, let's just have my wife in the test tube.
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know.
But why would they be announcing it like this? This is announced as a casting, so I don't think so. I think this will be proper casting.
Yeah, no, that's interesting.
So that's the thing. And speaking of adding Gotham and Batman-y things, this is not a character from the comics. As much as I can tell, I actually looked it up to find out if this specific character had appeared before. But Jeremy Davies has been cast as Dr. John Deegan, who is a doctor at Arkham Asylum, who is going to menace the heroes in the crossover. So we've got a mad doctor at Arkham Asylum, and we've got Nora Freeze. So maybe she is in the chamber. She's just in Arkham because that's where Mr. Freeze is presumably kept.
Makes sense. Makes sense. She is apparently an actress.
Cool. All right.
As well, yeah.
So now she's probably not frozen yet, or maybe she wasn't.
It's post. Frozen.
Yeah, it's post. You know, he saved her, and he's accepted his jail sentence now because he accepts what he done. But his wife's up and about.
Are we expecting to hear some casting for Victor himself?
I don't know. 50-50. Either way.
Kind of hope so. I mean, kind of cool. This whole thing's getting really kind of fun, though, isn't it?
Do you think we're going to see a Mr. Freeze? I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to jump on that train.
Yeah,
I'm not expecting
fair.
it.
But I mean, this feels like, okay, do you set that up and do that in the Batwoman show?
Maybe, I don't know, but we're getting a lot of Gothamy things though. That's what I'm getting from this. We're getting a Freeze-related villain. We're getting Arkham Asylum, or at least a doctor from Arkham. I'm a little
concerned about what their Arkham Asylum's going to look like, just visually, because CW shows have not had the best aesthetics, shall we say?
I mean, it doesn't have to do too much for me. Like it's just to look like a dark hospital. Well, that's all I need.
Sure, but I feel like there's two types of dark hospital, as you say. There's the one that looks okay, that looks pretty good, and then it goes to this looks ultra cheap, like we just turned the lights down. And I don't know, Arkham Asylum, there's a lot to live up to.
Next up, Alan Tudyk has been cast in the lead role for Sci-Fi's Resident Alien. The pilot is based on the Dark Horse comic of the same name. Tudyk will play an alien that crash landed on a little town of Patience, Colorado, and takes over the body of Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. That's a great name. One of the town's most reclusive citizens. The alien is up to no good, but his mission is sidetracked when the Doctor is murdered, and the alien is forced to take his place. This is perfect Alan Tudyk casting. I am on board for Alien Tudyk.
Yep. Yeah, I'm down.
I'm down. We already heard about this, but obviously this is the news of the casting, which instantly makes it 10 times more exciting. It sounded fine before. It was like, okay, that sounds like a fun plot. But knowing that I've got Tudyk...
I can see the charm that Tudyk brings to that.
Yes, I can see like his charm, a bit of his sinister side, but in a goofy kind of way.
A little bit of the quirk.
There's a lot of potential there with him playing that role.
Yeah.
Next up, Star Trek is expanding on CBS All Access. The streaming service has announced Star Trek Short Treks, 4 standalone short stories that will begin rolling out on Thursday, October 4th, ahead of the Season 2 launch in 2019. This is not weekly, this is monthly.
It is, and we spoke about these like 3 months ago. I'll be honest, I think I have a problem with news sites this week because it's slightly off topic. In Comic Solicits, we got a new Star Wars comic solicited this week for December.
Why are we even talking about now? What?
No, because just 1 second. And the news sites are going, oh, look, this new comic has been announced. It's like, no. This was announced at San Diego like 3 months ago. You all ran articles on it then saying, oh, look, new comic announced. You can't pull the same shit twice. It's the same with this. You can't say it's new announced. No. It's a date. That's it.
Fine. They've announced the release dates. Give me peace.
I care about journalistic integrity. I'm holding them to a higher standard.
I couldn't have told you. All I knew before I read this past week is that short treks were a thing. That's it.
Well, that's on you for having a poor memory.
I didn't remember getting descriptions for these. I didn't remember getting release dates. I didn't remember any of this shit.
No, we didn't have release dates. That's the only new bit of information.
I don't think we ever talked about descriptions for any of these.
We did briefly because it was the same day as the Discovery Season 2 trailer, and I think that was the same day as the Picard show.
We didn't get descriptions we didn't get descriptions that day. Bullshit.
They were there, but we just brushed over them.
Well, I never read them. I never spoke about them then, so my point stands.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, this story's pointless now. Do you even want me to tell you any of this?
Yeah, go on. I can't remember the fourth one. It's going to bug me, so might as well.
Well, it's a new character, so you never would have remembered it. But so yeah, Tilly's episode is going to be October 4th. That's called Runaway, and then Calypso is the episode that's on Thursday, November 8th. That is Kraft's episode. He's a new character. And then on December 6th, we get The Brightest Star, which is going to be Saru's episode. And then on January 3rd, we get The Escape Artist, which is going to be Mud's episode, which is also directed by Rainn Wilson. That's the other thing we have here. We have writers and directors for all 4 of these.
Yeah.
Interesting, none of them are actually mentioning how long any of them are. I have no idea if these are 10-minute things or if they're like full episode length.
No, I have no idea. I guess we'll find out in like a week and a half.
I guess.
When the first one hits. I'm intrigued. And I think it's notable, okay, they're doing 1 a month, and we know that we're due season 2 of Discovery early next year. So maybe, do we follow and do, okay, right, start of February, so it's evenly paced, or do we kind of hit in January still, like fresh off that last one?
I don't know.
Either or. I'm intrigued.
I'm expecting one of those 2 things.
Yeah.
But yeah, so getting these short treks. Whether or not we cover them as reviews kind of depends on what they are. If they're like 10 minutes long, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, maybe come January we'll do
all 4 of them. Yeah, all 4 of them in one thing. Yeah. But whereas if they're like full 40-minute or whatever episodes, like of like short stories essentially, then sure.
Yeah, when they say short treks, do they mean, oh, it's a short episode? I think that was the implication that I got when they announced them before. But they could just mean, oh no, it's just 1 episode. It's short because it's not a series, right? So I don't know. We'll wait and see.
All right, that'll take us on to the new shows in development. We start with the comedies, as we usually do. So NBC, they've got a show in development, a comedy. Josh Myers is set to star and write and executive produce it. It's called The Exceptional. In the show, the Homeowners Association board members of The Exceptional, a Los Angeles condo building, find themselves hopelessly deadlocked. That is, until a fellow resident, Justin, reluctantly agrees to join the board and in his first meeting stumbles into becoming its president. Now Justin has to leave his self-obsessed bubble and engage with his neighbours, finding himself knee-deep not only in the issues of the building but also the personal problems of the condo's diverse residents. This is going to be a single-camera comedy. This is a fine premise for a comedy. You've got all these. You can have a nice variety of characters from all the different apartments. A lot of regulars.
Yeah, sounds alright.
Yeah. He sounds like someone who's going to hate the fact that he has to talk to all his neighbours. Something I can relate to. So.
Me too. You know what I found out the other day? One of my neighbours is moving.
Mm-hmm.
So that means new neighbours. I've got to go through the whole. Oh hi, gonna meet the new neighbours shtick that I can't be bothered with.
Yeah, and they could be awful. That's the concern.
They could
be awful. No, this is a fine premise for a comedy. I think obviously whether it's funny or not just depends on writing, so on, characters, actors, blah blah blah. But in terms of premise potential, it sounds like a good enough sitcom premise as any. Arguably better than like say a family sitcom, which can obviously be fantastic anyway. Just because you can have the different types of characters from different houses or different apartments rather.
Yeah, and it's easy to freshen up your cast. It's like, oh, someone's moved in, moved out,
exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of things like, you have the episode where they're all having a party for someone who's leaving, or you have the episode where, the plumbing's not working and he has to deal with that somehow and he has to get involved and so on.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Next up, Fox has given a pilot order to a multi-camera comedy from Michelle Nader and Morgan Murphy. It's called Danny Issues. The show follows 2 flawed sisters who are reunited with their ne'er-do-well father after the loss of their mother, leading to all 3 to realise that sometimes what they thought was the problem is actually the solution. And those 2 that I mentioned previously worked on Two Broke Girls. So basically burn it with fire and stay far away is basically my advice on this one.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. And I actually forgot to get details for something that I'm now... I put in a note to remind myself to go get something, and then never looked at it again.
I know what this is. You're a bloody disgrace. I remember you mentioning this on Friday when we were like, oh yeah, I forgot about that, and I'll put it in where it should go.
Yep. And somehow... Oh, here we go. It took me a few links there. There's a lot of Batwoman things there. But Batgirl's the thing. DC Universe is reportedly working on a Batgirl TV show. Notable because there's also a Batgirl movie being worked on, and from everything we're hearing about the movies right now, is it DC and Warner Bros. Are very much like, yeah, no, Wonder Woman did well. All the lady superheroes, we're doing all those, and we're treating them with more sort of attention right now. So
we got a date for one of them this week.
Yeah, for 2020, yeah. So given that they're having a vested interest in doing a Batgirl movie, it feels strange that the DC Universe streaming service is also saying, no, we're going to do a Batgirl TV show. What I think is interesting about it is that, first of all, you could have a different Batgirl, because there's 3 Batgirls, and that's entirely possible. If I was going to be hopeful, I would say that since Barbara's definitely going to be in the movie, and Cassandra Cain's in Birds of Prey, that leaves Stephanie Brown for the TV show. That said, the most likely option is probably still Barbara Gordon, who I also love, so I'm okay with that. I do actually think a TV show is a better fit for Batgirl overall.
It's better for most.
Yeah, well, I mean, my general stance on this is, if money is no object, TV fits almost every superhero better than a movie does. If money was no object.
Yeah, it's by its nature of comic books being a serial art form, and so is TV, unlike movies.
Is that? I mean, yeah, sure, there's that, and that's a big part of it. But even just on top of that, the amount of stories that a character like, say, Batman has, the amount of villains that he has, you can't do all those in a movie, at least not and do them justice. Whereas in a TV show, you can devote like 4 episodes to just doing a good Calendar Man plot, and that'd be such a small fraction of your overall show. But it would.
You could, but no one is ever going to spend 4 episodes on a Calendar Man plot.
To 1 episode, but you know what I mean, though. You can devote time to developing all these. You can have running gags. You could have a running Kite Man gag, and it would be great. It'd be funny.
Sorry, I was trying to drink, and then you said Kite Man. I had to.
Yes. But no, this is cool. I am down for a Batgirl show. Hopefully, whatever the direction with this is something that we can get behind as fans of the character.
Not
all 3
Titans
characters
related, not Titans related.
Oh God, yes. Oh yeah, keep it far away from that.
This might be the only time where you actively root against Dick and Babs.
I'm all for Dick and Babs. I just want a different Dick.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be.
It might be. It could be.
Keep dreaming.
Oh God, no. Keep it away from Titans. Even though it's the one that's most likely to tie into Titans, just given the characters and relation and whatnot. But keep it away from Titans and do it sort of thing. But that surprised me. In a way, more than Stargirl. Stargirl's such a like a C-list, even though I love her, but she's a C-list character. This she's not someone that I would assume they're going to make a TV show about. I could see her being in a JSA show, but saying no, she's going to have her own show called Stargirl. That surprised me. This surprised me in a different way. Obviously, I think Batgirl's big enough to make a TV show about, or I'd expect to about. I think, let's be honest, yeah. I think tons of D-listers could have their own TV shows. With the right attention, any character can become that. But this surprises me because they're so heavily focused on the movie right now. But maybe this is a sign that because they have their own streaming service now, they're like, no, anyone who pays for this knows that the movies and TV are different. Let's just do it. It's fine. Go for it.
I mean, I think they're lightening up in general, given the fact that we're getting 2 different Jokers in the movies at the same time.
This is true.
5-10 years ago, the idea of that was inconceivable to Warner Bros.
Yeah, and one of those Joker movies has got more potential than the other. I'll say that much.
Yeah, it could still be atrocious.
Yeah. So no. Do you know the funny thing is, I made a point of going and getting the article, and there's like nothing in the article to actually add. Like everything I said, I kind of said off the top of my head. There was nothing in it.
Well, what a waste of time that was.
Yeah. The only thing I suppose it says is that it would be 2020, which makes sense given that this is obviously earlier stages and the other stuff, and we know we're getting.
I think what you do is you put Batgirl into the JSA in Stargirl's show, and then go, hey, do your own.
Oh, for Birds of Prey?
No, for this, have Batgirl start off in the Stargirl show in that JSA, that young JSA.
What's Hey Do Your Own about then?
your own show. It's like, hey, you then go and do your own show.
All right. No, I was as if Stargirl said, "Hey, I made a team. You go do your own." That's how I understood your statement.
Oh, okay, I'm with you.
And I was confused by it, but no.
I'm with you now.
So Batgirl is in development, and honestly, given that they've thrown out some pretty surprising properties in terms of these shows, and they're at the point now where they're shooting Doom Patrol, both Swamp Thing and Stargirl seem to be coming in 2019. I'm more likely to believe them, to be honest, at this point. Like, and the only thing that's actually turned out not to be happening as of yet is something they actively told us was in production or was in pre-production, and they decided to pull, and they told us they pulled it.
Yeah.
Whereas the movies, 50 things get announced in about a month, and then they just don't mention them again.
And then suddenly there's a teaser.
And then suddenly there's a teaser for something, yeah. So, you know, hey, Batgirl. Which does lead to some Marvel TV show news. A couple of things, actually. So the first one, speaking of DC's streaming service, we have Disney Play, which is Disney's upcoming streaming service. And we knew Marvel were going to be a part of this somehow. We didn't know in what capacity. What they're saying just now is quite interesting. Marvel Studios is going to give basically spotlight miniseries to certain characters. But what's interesting about this is obviously it'll be in the MCU, as technically Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the Netflix stuff is. However, it's going to be more connected because what this seems to be, and the two they mentioned specifically here, is you'll get a mini-series on Scarlet Witch and a mini-series on Loki to start with. Those are the two that they're throwing around right now in terms of this is what we're thinking about. And it would be Elizabeth Olsen, it would be Tom Hiddleston, it would be these actors playing these characters in a mini-series about them set before, after, during, whatever, in the movies.
Yes. Specifically with the Loki one, I think it's a great way to transition out of Tom Hiddleston. You know, transition into like Kid Loki.
They could do that
and go down that route.
I'm more excited for the Scarlet Witch one because I like Elizabeth Olsen a lot, and I think she's been good in the what she's been given in the movies for the most part.
She has been since she dropped that stupid accent.
Yeah, the accent, that's fair. But, you know, I liked her in Infinity War, and I feel like if you're not going to get... I mean, I guess what they're really saying here is, for characters who are not going to get their own movie, let's give them, like, 8 episodes and give it some budget, and it's a good idea. I mean, I think these are way more interesting. Obviously, we've dropped out of the Netflix stuff, but these could be good. These could feel more relevant. I think with Scarlet Witch especially, you don't necessarily do a backstory thing. You could actually do something that's set after, you know, whatever the next, you know, Avengers movie is. Actually have her becoming more of the Scarlet Witch, if you will.
Yeah, why not?
Do a bit of soul searching, you know, whatever.
And it's an easy way to make your service feel necessary.
Yes.
Is to go, hey, when this character pops up in the next Avengers movie, you're going to want to know how they got to that stage. Hey, you'll go check out that show.
I mean, hey, actually, they could set it between Civil War and Infinity War Part 1 and show how her and Vision actually became so close.
Yeah, that could be season 1. Yeah,
that could... Well, they say it's limited, so it wouldn't necessarily be seasons.
Oh, did they? Okay.
They're saying 6 to 8 episode story arcs. So, and that's how you get the actors from the movies. You say, oh, hey, it's essentially just an extended movie shoot for you. And then we go cut it off.
Hiddleston did TV a couple of years ago, right? Did Night Manager was him, right?
Yeah. It's not impossible to get movie actors for TV shows, but I'm just, you know,
it's not these days. No.
In terms of like grabbing some of these actors who have got these big, you know, franchise contracts who are.
Yeah, it's the idea of tying them down with contracts for multiple seasons that can be difficult.
Yeah, they don't want to do that. But if you say, hey, we'll do a 6 or 8 episode thing, that's you, you're done. Then, you know, if you want to come back later, we can think of another one maybe. But for now, it's just this. That's how you're getting tied to. Yeah. So cool. Speaking of Marvel as well, ABC is also working on another Marvel show. They're saying it's going to be a female Marvel superhero show, possibly multiple characters. It's coming from Alan Heinberg, who wrote the script for Wonder Woman. The exact details of the project will be kept under wraps. No word is yet exactly what characters will be in the show, but so there's not a lot of details to go on yet. But
but it's not Mockingbird, is it? With Hunter, so who cares?
I'm still bitter they wrote her out as well.
Yeah, me too.
Ultimately, the show failed, didn't happen, and now we obviously got Hunter back for a cameo basically, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
miss
we could what could have been.
I miss Bobby and Hunter. That's true. I think there's some potential here. I think it's interesting to think of what this could end up being. It could be a team show. It could be a She-Hulk show. I could see them going She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I think it's interesting that it sounds like they kind of have no idea yet.
That's just probably just them hiding what it is rather than.
Yeah, maybe, but it's so vague. Like even by
Sure.
normal announcement standards, this is like, yeah, there's something. Sure.
We've heard that they want to do Miss Marvel in a movie, so I'm going to assume it's not her. I wonder if it's could be She-Hulk, could be an A4 style team, which would have She-Hulk in it as well.
She-Hulk, I feel like would be easy because they can lean into the lawyer side, and it's like here's your ABC TV show, right?
I'm not expecting it, but what about young Hawkeye Kate? I mean, I don't know if you'd have to get Jeremy Renner to tie it in some way.
Yeah, you have to do like one episode with him.
Yeah, torch passing kind of thing.
I'd be down for that.
You could do that. I like that character as well from Fraction's Hawkeye runs, so I'm down for it. Who else could you do?
Yeah.
You could do.
Just give me a Young Avengers show. I'd be down for that.
Who would you want in it though? What character are you thinking about?
I want Hawkeye. I want America Chavez. I want Kid Loki. A couple others. Wiccan.
Yeah, like I say, I'm assuming Miss Marvel would be perfect, but because Feige's already said they want to do her in a movie, at some time later, I feel like she's off the table. But no, so things, and obviously these are things we'll try. As much as we give up on the Netflix stuff, I mean, we do love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. like a lot, so
probably to an unhealthy amount.
So these things get a chance, and I am actually kind of interested in the limited run stuff with characters from the movies. I think that's an interesting little sort of extension.
Yeah, and even if we don't like the first one, we'd probably try a couple more. If it's like 3 or 4 in a row, we're like, no, okay, we're not into this. And we'd probably call it at that point.
It doesn't sound like they're tied to, because the thing with the Netflix stuff is they're all tied together in this same little pocket. Whereas this stuff, like the Loki one and the Scarlet Witch ones, would be miles apart probably, have nothing to do with each other.
That's true.
So then you get ABC developing another show. So we'll see. And I do genuinely wonder though if like S.H.I.E.L.D. ends up going to the streaming service like after, once it launches.
It's been rumored.
Yeah, is that something they want to do? Do they want to do like just 10 to 13 episodes on that instead of more on ABC? Who knows? Next up, big follow up to something we first spoke about maybe about a month ago. That is Hulu has officially picked up Veronica Mars. A season of 8 episodes is going to come out in 2019, and of course Kristen Bell's back as Veronica Mars, as a titular character. Rob Thomas is going to executive produce, and he's going to write the first episode. Doesn't say he's showrunning specifically. I don't know if he is, or if he's passing the torch to someone else, but he's still involved. He's still there.
Yeah. Sounds all official and proper.
There's even a description of the plot. So, in the new installment, Spring Breakers are getting murdered in Neptune, thereby decimating the seaside town's lifeblood tourist industry. After Mars Investigations is hired by the parents of one of the victims to find their son's killer, Veronica is drawn into a mystery that pits the Enclave's wealthy elites who would rather put an end to the month-long bacchanalia? I'm unfamiliar with this word. Sounds like a word for party or sort of spring break, vacation-y sort of thing. Celebration of some kind.
Not familiar without looking at it.
Maybe a Spanish word. But against the working class that relies on cash influx that comes with being the West Coast answer to Daytona Beach. So that's your basic premise. So it sounds like she's just working at Mars Investigations. Maybe she is at Mars Investigations. I mean, I don't know if her dad's still around. I haven't seen season 3 or watched the movie yet. I don't know. But because her dad's a PI. If you've not seen the show, like Mars Investigations was a thing in the show as well from the start. So it's cool. Of course, the big question is, it's coming in 2019. Is it late enough in 2019 that we feel confident saying, "Hey, we'll watch the whole thing before then"?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
66 episodes.
Given that we can't realistically start for another couple of months.
This is true.
Yeah.
Because it's a shame because it means we can't do it when the new season when it comes out, which is the upsetting part. Because I'd want to.
It is. Yeah. No, it's true. Just read the sentence about the Bacchanalia again. I've got what it is here, and I'm intrigued to hear the sentence again.
Who would rather put an end to the month-long Bacchanalia against the working class that relied.
Okay, so I googled that word, assuming I'm spelling it Bacch.
Yep.
Yeah. So apparently it was a Roman festival of Bacchus, based on Greek Dionysia. Big festivals that they had.
I wonder if this is a common phrase there, where they'd use that as kind of like slang. Either that, or whoever wrote this description is a bit self-indulgent.
Oh, hang on. I've got an Urban Dictionary link about 10 things down.
Oh, go on.
That says it's a drunken orgy.
Okay,
all right,
let's play that one.
Yeah.
I'll be that one.
We'll go with that one.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Thank you, Urban Dictionary.
Next up, Netflix.
I feel like a middle-aged person.
Netflix is set to produce a live-action series based on Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's cool. I've always wanted to watch it. I've not got around to it.
To watch the live-action one on Netflix then.
I probably have idea. It's the same showrunners, if I recall.
Yeah, it's bringing aboard the original creators Michael DiMartino and Brian Konietzko. Probably butchered that, as executive producers and showrunners, so they're showrunning it. So yeah, it's the same creators.
Yeah.
The new series will be in partnership with Nickelodeon and start production next year. The original Avatar: The Last Airbender aired for 3 seasons on Nickelodeon from February 2005 to 2008, winning an Emmy in 2017. In 2017? I didn't win an Emmy in
sound right.
2017. I'm going to assume that was meant to be 2007, since that was in the...
Right, I'm like, how do you even typo that? I'm assuming whoever did this was on a keyboard, where, I mean, maybe they do using the number pad, I guess, but it's still weird to typo that.
I think they're just used to writing years that are in the teens, because that's just what we're in just now, and they've written 2017 instead of 2007.
Oh, journalists this week.
I know. Not that I cared about the other shit you brought up, but fair enough. The series followed the main protagonist, Aang, and his friends, who must save the world by defeating Fire Lord Ozai and ending the destructive war with the Fire Nation. A total of 61 episodes were made. It has a lot of cred, has a lot of critical acclaim. I hear a lot of people talk about it. They like it a lot. I've never had much.
I'm not sure it's your sort of thing.
Yeah, I've never had much of an interest in going back and checking it out myself. That said, I will check out the live action for review, because why not? Because you want that perspective. You want someone who has no idea what's going on outside of, there was a movie by M. Night Shyamalan, and I know there's obviously airbenders, but there's also firebenders and presumably waterbenders, and
yeah, let's not judge the franchise on that movie.
Oh, I never saw it.
Let's be fair.
I just heard bad things, but I never saw it.
If I recall, I feel like that came out at a similar time to that atrocious Dragon Ball movie.
I'll take your word for it. I want nothing to do with it.
Horrible.
So no, interesting. Next up, BCDF Pictures have picked up the rights to Raymond E. Feist's blockbuster fantasy book franchise, The Riftwar Saga, with Atomic Blonde screenwriter Kurt Johnstad on board to adapt the first novel, which is called Magician. So it's going to be a TV show. Riftwar Cycle, a New York Times bestseller from Penguin Random House. Penguin. It's one of those nights. I'm not used to doing this on a Monday, it's weird. It sold over 20 million copies and has been translated into 25 languages. It is also one of the longest running fantasy book series of all time, with 32 novels and additional short stories, and somehow I've never heard of it. Although Riftwar is a good title. I hope the show's just called...
I'm assuming the show is just going to be called The Rift War.
Just Riftwar, just Riftwar.
We'll see.
In Magician, the piece of the Kingdom of the Isles, is destroyed when a mysterious invaders from another world swarm the land. A young magician's destiny leads them through the rift in the fabric of space and time to master the powers of a strange new magic, while his warrior friend inherits the legacy of savage power from an ancient civilization. Medkemia, the world which upon Riftwar is based, originated as a paper-based role-playing game. In addition to other gaming products, the universe developed by Feist and his friends has since been used as the basis for the creation of 2 video games. Marvel Comics has also published a comic book adaptation of the series. So, yeah.
Never heard of the games either.
I mean, assuming they're called Riftwar or something.
Yeah, assuming
they're
that.
in. I'm not a big fantasy guy. Obviously, I'll try most of these types of shows when they start, but I feel this is like the 10th fantasy-based show we've heard about in the last year, and when they start appearing, I'll believe them. But so far, none of them have.
Yeah, they're determined fantasy is about to come back in, right? I think it's these. There's been a big D&D upswing trend over the last couple of years. Things like Critical Role has appeared. It's been quite popular. I'm seeing a lot of comics inspired by D&D stuff specifically. So I think they're TV are going, hey, no, that's going to be a trend in the next few years, and it's all going to hit at once.
And 90% of them will bomb because the general public will say, "Hey, there's far too many of these. I don't want another one."
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Maybe all of them. Maybe all of them will bomb.
Yeah. It's possible.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings will do okay because Lord of the Rings has the name, but everything else will just wither and die. So, but hopefully any of them that happen to be good don't, because obviously
that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Good things should not bomb, but sometimes it happens. Next up, Chris Evans is signed on to star and executive producer in a limited series. It's called Defending Jacob. It's been ordered straight to series at Apple. Apple ordering more shows. It's a thing. Interesting that they've been. We'd heard this before, but they reiterated it this week about how they are not an R-rated service. They're going to be strictly PG-13 and under. And
yeah, it's a little stricter than it sounds, because before they were like, it won't be adult orientated. Yeah, but now it was like, no drugs or swearing or sex or whatever it was that they were saying.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be a streaming equivalent to network TV, as opposed to what we typically think of as a streaming service. Now, what I think is interesting about that though is that if the quality is still high, that'll be fine, but it does mean there'll be certain things that just won't be there. Like, we're not going to get horror shows on this service because they can't. they shit. No. So I think that's interesting. It's interesting that they want to protect their brand like that, kind of like how Disney do as well in many ways, and how Disney Play won't have any R-rated content on it either. But yeah, we'll see. So anyway, this is called Defend Him, Jacob. It's based on a 2012 best-selling novel by the same name by William Landay. And it tells the story of a father whose 14-year-old son is accused of murder. The series was created, written, and executive produced by Mark Bombach, who will also serve as showrunner. Just say he's showrunning it. I'll assume all those other things. I'll assume he's creating and writing it. It's fine.
But kudos, because it's thorough journalism.
Shut up. Bombach wrote both War for the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, so
I'm in.
That's cred. That's some cred. He also wrote a screenplay for the upcoming film Outlaw King with Chris Pine. So that's the Netflix movie that's coming up. And he's also working on the Umbrella Academy at Netflix, which we've not seen yet, but may be good.
High profile. He's clearly in demand.
Yeah, and he's got Chris Evans on board. Presumably as the father of the kid.
Probably, and Apple are determined to try and get some money out of me, aren't they?
Don't take the apple. The snake is offering it. That's the thing with Apple. They're nothing but a trick.
I've intentionally not given them any money in a long time, and I really don't want to give them any. But the bastards are making it difficult.
Hey, Firefly, let's recreate the mutant enemy production thing, eh? Grr, arg. That, of course, was the production company on the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I guess we're getting near to the end of the show, because you're just throwing it out there now.
We're not that near the end. Next up, Thomas Kelly's old 320 Sycamore. That's such a weird company name. Has optioned Georgia Hunter's New York Times best-selling novel We Were the Lucky Ones for adaptation for TV. Kelly is attached to direct and is currently looking for writers. The novel is published in 2017 by here we go again, Penguin Random House. I have to think about it. I'm terrified of the word penguin now. I'm going to say it stupidly.
So the worst part is that they're like one of the most common publishers that you'll
see. Oh, they are. Yeah, I mean, I know the logo. I can see it in my head.
If it makes you feel any better,
Yeah.
Benedict Cumberbatch can't say penguin either.
They can say
There's a whole
Cumberbatch
thing
though.
yeah, no. There's a whole thing where he says penguin
Penguin.
every time in a documentary.
I can say
Yeah.
penguin just fine, not most of the time. Just tonight, for some reason, it's just become
Yeah,
this.
but I just thought, you're not alone that struggles.
All right. Anyway, so it's inspired by Hunter's grandfather. Cat, what are you doing? Goddamn Firefly. Is the extraordinary tale of true story of the Jewish family separated at the start of World War II, determined to survive and to reunite. The powerful and suspenseful saga is described as a tribute to the triumph of hope and love against all odds. So it sounds like a very teary-eyed journey of this family that's split apart and then finds each other again by the end of World War II. So, obviously, depending on how this is handled, this could be something that's like really well directed. On its own, I'm not super pumped about it because it does sound like a really depressing. I mean, uplifting by the end, sure, but
yeah, I think it'll take some serious style to get us interested.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say it again. Like, Schindler's List is a good movie. I never need to see it again. Like, once was enough. Like, the point was made. Very affecting, but not something I feel like putting on for entertainment value. I guess.
Casual afternoon.
Yeah. Oh,
It's not a Sunday afternoon movie, is it?
I've just had a bacon sandwich. What do I feel like? Let's watch Schindler's List. I'm in the mood.
No. See, the thing is, I've just had a bacon sandwich. What do I feel like? The answer is always another bacon sandwich. Always.
Moving on. Warner Bros. TV's acquired the rights to Amy Chozik's best-selling memoir, Chasing Hillary, 10 Years, 2 Presidential Campaigns, and 1 Intact Glass Ceiling, to develop as a TV show. I've got a funny feeling the TV show will just be called Chasing Hillary, but, we'll see.
Which is a shame, because I got a little chuckle after the end bit.
For a decade, award-winning New York Times journalist Amy Chozick chronicled Hillary Clinton's pursuit in the pursuit of the presidency. What is this? There's an email popping up in the corner of my screen. It's distracting me. I need to turn those notifications off. God damn it! I just reinstalled
be professional
Windows.
and power through.
I just reinstalled Windows last week, and it's giving me all these weird new things.
So you've had a whole week of notifications and not bothered to start them off?
No, because they've popped up like in batches like 3 times, where I'll just get like 5 emails just popping out from the screen. Like, it's annoying, and they're always emails that I already saw like an hour ago. It's annoying. Anyway, so she sort of followed her around, starting with the 2008 campaign against the then rising Democratic challenger Barack Obama. Shows it was assigned the Hillary beat ahead of the 2016 presidential election. The book provides a candid and rollicking first-hand account of the Clinton campaign unraveling and the surprising loss to Donald Trump. So, I have no interest in this. This sounds dry. This sounds drier than.
I would be interested in reading it. I don't want a TV show about it.
I mean, I must say it can be good, but for me, it just sounds like really dry. I'm not like into political campaigns, and I'm good. Next up, CBS All Access is given a straight-to-series order to a dramedy from Mark Cherry, who you may know the name from. He created Desperate Housewives and showran that. The series is titled Why Women Kill. It details the lives of 3 women living in 3 different decades: a housewife in the 60s, a socialite in the 80s, and a lawyer in 2018, each dealing with infidelity in their marriages. The series will examine how the roles of the women have changed, but how their reaction to betrayal has not.
Okay. Doesn't sound like it's for me.
I do like the idea of like 3 characters plotting murdering their husbands in 3 different time periods. I like that part of it.
I do, but I don't know. It sounds a little unfocused. I'd be more interested in just one woman is plotting this, right, and that's the story.
Well, no, I assume that the premise of the show, the point of the show, is the comparisons of how they're each achieving it in different ways, and
I get that. But to me, I'd rather just watch the thriller version of one character, let's do this, and then they do the next one for another season, and then have it be like an anthology, essentially.
Yeah, but you can go and find that. There's been stories about wives murdering their husbands. That's happened in movies and TV Tons of times.
It has, but I'd still rather watch that.
This is a stupid complaint. This is
not.
This is one of the most stupid complaints you've ever had about a premise.
It is not. I'm saying
is. That's the hook.
No.
That's the premise. Is that you've got 3 different time periods and they're all trying to kill their husbands. That's the show.
I get that. I'm just saying I'd prefer it if it wasn't that.
You could say that about any premise. That's stupid.
But I'm not saying, oh, don't do that. Do this entirely different thing. I'm saying, no, focus in. Give me 3 different stories over 3 limited seasons. No, don't give me, all of this in one go.
Like, I don't know if this will be good or bad, but that's at that point, it's not the show. That's not the premise anymore. You've changed it
for the better.
What you've done is you've taken what's interesting about the premise and boiled it down to something that might be on CBS. That's what you've just done.
But better, because I said it.
Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ. Next up, CW has put in development Lifeboat Clique.
I'm out.
I don't know.
You put clique on the end of it, and I don't
know. There's potential in this. It's an all-long series based on Kathy Park's book, The Lifeboat Clique. They took away the day. You didn't really have to tell me that. It comes from Jane the Virgin co-executive producer Katie Weck. Or Wetch. Which, I don't know, but Wetch or Weck. Anyway, Lifeboat Clique is described as a dark comedy. In it, when a freak tsunami hits a Malibu house party, a group of teenagers from diverse social circles are swept out to sea. The place where they wind up is anew, but the high school politics and social hierarchies that emerge are not. From the wreckage, an unlikely leader emerges, a social outcast who has spent most of high school despising her fellow castaways and now must master the social system she loathes if she wants to survive. Now, this might be the most terrible thing ever, and it probably will be. However, with the Scream Queen's tone, I can see this being the best thing ever.
If it was a Scream Queen's tone, what I'm getting, though, is trashy Lord of the Flies.
I'm getting Lost, but with high school students, and we're going to have, like, instead of sitting at which dinner table you're going to go sit at, it'll be which campfire you're going to go sit at.
Yeah, this is going to be so trashy. This is going to be paired with Riverdale.
Probably. It's probably going to be terrible because of what it's going to be on the CW, but I can see a tone and a sense of humor here that would make this work. Like Mean Girls meets Castaway. Like, there's something there. It's not a terrible idea.
It's not. Just on the CW, though.
But of course, if you're Connor, you like this, but only if instead of being on an island, because that adds a lot of extra complications, just put it in a high school.
I mean, if you want to just give me a Mean Girls TV show, sure, I'll take it. Because that's what you're saying there.
I mean, I guess, but the point I'm making is it's no longer the premise, therefore it's a stupid thing to say.
It's not.
So there we go.
Perfectly valid.
Moving on, Fox is developing a show called Switch. It's a 1-hour drama from producer Joby Harold. I assumed it was a name that I recognised, but no, it's Joby.
Oh, I just said it was a stupid name.
Yeah, Joby Harold. Described as an adrenaline-fueled procedural, Switch asks the question, what if you could quite literally drive the body of another human being? The show details the exploits of the FBI's newest undercover unit, the Switch Division. All I'm imagining is Reggie from Nintendo just doing these Switch clicks.
Honestly, as soon as you said Switch, I was like that, and I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't click.
Make the switch. Right. So, Switch Division, a task force created to allow agents to go undercover inside the body of another human being, or at least that's the theory. Unfortunately, the Type A Louise Lou Fox can't find an agent insane enough to try her new technology. Enter Harry Mac McAllister, a sloppy loose cannon, former undercover burnout, who will enjoy nothing more than the opportunity to spend each week inside the bodies of various criminals, except perhaps watching Lou pull her hair out, trying to control him. Len Wiseman's going to direct the pilot.
Where do I start?
It's a buddy cop show, but one of them goes inside the body of the criminals.
I can't remember the last time I saw a show actually say, "Oh, he's a loose cannon," as a descriptor, rather than that just being subtext.
And of course, Connor's critique of this will be that they should take away the moving into other people's bodies and just have them go undercover.
I mean, just put on a mask.
Taking away what the premise is, because that's what Connor likes to do when we talk about these premises. So
you are really stretching this to stupid proportions now.
I'm pointing out how stupid that complaint was.
I tweaked and I stand by it.
Next up, Fox is developing a drama series based on Michelle Polar's blog 100 Days Without Fear. Akiva Goldsman is attached to the 1 Hour project as executive producer. The series is inspired by the life and blog of Polar, who embarked on a personal journey of self-discovery, vowing to conquer 100 of her biggest fears in 100 days, and chronicled her journey online. Following the success of her blog, Polar went out to becoming a motivational speaker, offering people tips on ways to overcome their fears. First of all, who's got 100 fears? Who's scared of that many things?
I was like 100 biggest fears as well. Like,
yeah, as if she's got 1,000, but these are the 100 biggest.
Yeah, like, I mean, I can't remember like 3 or 4 things where I'm like, no, okay, I'm scared of those. Like, actively scared of those things.
Yeah, I mean, like, commitment and, things like that.
Obviously. I mean, that's standard though, right?
Babies, children, they're awful.
Oh, terrified of those little bastards.
Yes, but 100, that's a lot of fears.
Sure, I mean, a lion charge and get me, I guess. That's got to be on the list. I mean, very specific. I'm not scared of a lion.
Okay, sure. If you include obvious things that are life-threatening, then yes, you could probably come up to 100 because, yes, you're feared of an axe-wielding maniac throwing an axe at your head. But that's when you talk about your fears that you have to get over, you're usually thinking of irrational fears that are just like you've got a fear of clowns, you've got a fear of strawberries,
spiders.
Sure, spiders. But at the same time, if you actually put like a poisonous spider in front of you, then everyone will be scared because then it's no longer irrational because you're told this is a spider that will kill you if it bites you. In which case, it is a fear.
It's rational. Yes. It's no. That's not stupid fear. That's self-defense.
What I'm getting from this though, I don't know what the tone's going to be, but I'm getting My Name Is Earl. I'm getting a list of fears that the character's going to want to overcome.
See, I would love that because fan of My Name Is Earl.
Mm-hmm.
But that I feel like they won't want to undercut the accomplishment by reducing it to that level.
It's a drama as well. It's not a comedy. That's the other thing.
Okay, I'm out.
It's in the drama section. Yeah. All right. Last thing in the news this week. Then NBC's put in development Strong Justice.
Are you sure this isn't a CBS show?
Nope, NBC. No, that's the thing though. CBS are now just calling their shows FBI and SEAL Team. So this is actually too complex for CBS now.
Yeah. CBS would just be lawyers.
Yes, lawyers. So Strong Justice is an hour-long drama from Wendy Calhoun, who worked on Empire. Elizabeth Banks and Max Hendelman's Brownstone Productions are producing. Strong Justice is inspired by Marlo McGuire Graham and Ethel McGuire. It centers on FBI's first ever mother-daughter duo, Special Agents Etta and Memphis Strong. Memphis? Who calls a kid Memphis? This is an awful name.
There have been some really awful names tonight.
Memphis Strong. I mean, Etta, no, Etta's a normal name. I've heard Etta many a time. Memphis, though. Maybe it's just common in a certain part of the US that I'm just... But Memphis. Anyway, who strive to be exceptional...
It's a place, sure, but not a name.
Who strive to be exceptional investigators despite sexist and racist hurdles. Both women tackle dangerous cases and fight for equality over 2 time periods, but their individual pursuits reveal truths and threaten to ruin their role model legacy. So... yeah. So I assume you're going to have young mother in the past timeline and older mother in the present. And assuming she didn't die on the job at some point, which may have happened.
Did it not mention that they were a team, though?
Sure, yeah, duo. Yeah, true. So, yeah.
So she has to be around with the younger daughter at some point.
Yeah, so she'll...
probably the first thing you said.
Yeah, we'll have older version in present day.
I have no interest in this on NBC.
Where would you have an interest in it?
As an hour-and-a-half movie.
Okay, sure, sure. How would you simplify the premise of this to fit your liking?
I don't know.
You take away the fact that they're related. They're not mother and daughter anymore. They're just one random woman and one younger random woman.
No, I think you just cut out the other timeline.
Okay.
You just go. This
is the same complaint. It's too complicated. There's so many timelines. Focus in.
I never said it was too complicated. I said unfocused. There is a difference.
The implication.
No. That just felt like before. It's like, oh, we got a few different ideas. Let's just throw them in. Where I'm like, no. You've got 3 stories there. Whereas this feels fine. Generic as shit, but fine.
The other one sounds way better. This has less of a hook to me.
I'm not arguing that. This has no hook at all.
It's a buddy cop show, but their mother-daughter.
I can't believe they're not lawyers based on the title.
Yeah, that's true. But hey, Justice.
I really thought it was a lawyer show.
I mean, this could be a Batman story. Batman, strong justice. You know. Hey,
watch that.
Hey, Bruce, what do you want for dinner? Justice. You know, easy.
Yeah.
So that's the news, though. That's all the news. This week, which does take us on to picking our favorite episode of TV of the week, which is funny because we're at a weird time because this is why we normally do it on a Friday because it just fits better. But we're doing it on Monday, so we're talking about last week's Better Call Saul and last week's The Deuce. And
to be fair, we haven't watched the next ones yet, so it's no different.
Yeah, but by the time they see this, those episodes will have both aired for the new ones. Which is why it's weird in terms of the show.
That's true. Episode 7 of Saul and 2 of the Deuce.
Yes. And also worth mentioning, we started doing Maniac. Of course, we mentioned that at the start, but that's Netflix's new show.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
And we also tried the first episode of The First from Hulu. Which we actually, despite the negative criticism that I'm seeing a lot online, we kind of liked that first episode. We were into it.
I'm annoyed at how much we kind of liked it.
Yeah, because now we're committing to doing more of it, which is the second one would be up by now, but again, Connor got sick. The inconsiderate
it's watched.
Prick. Yeah. But so as much as it's like it's between these two things, there's actually like 5 different shows we're working through now because Jack Ryan's almost done.
And honestly, it's not really a contest this week because it's Better Call
Saul.
Saul.
Yeah, Saul had the best episode of the season. Episode 7. So.
One of the best episodes I've seen yet this year of anything.
So no, Saul swoops in as per usual, but this was very good though. That's not downplay episode 2 of this.
Fantastically solid. It was exactly what I want from that show. Just couldn't compete with that episode of Saul, unfortunately.
Yeah. So. But that's TV news. Obviously, if this was the movie news, we'd be talking about movies we watched since the last news episode. So brace yourself for the big epic movie news coming on Friday, Saturday-ish, because I've watched a decent amount of movies since the last news episode. So,
unsurprisingly, I haven't.
Yes. Also, unsurprisingly, why have I watched a lot of movies and played a lot of video games? Because Connor couldn't record for about 4 days, so I had a lot of extra time to do other things.
God, that week when I'm away.
Yeah. Well, I've got a whole Netflix show to do.
So much done.
That'll keep me busy.
Yeah, but you'll knock that out in 3 days and be like, right, okay.
I'm not promising that. That sounds like we're doing like 3 episodes a day. I don't know if I'll have that in me. One a day at least. One a day at least. That's my promise. I don't know if I'm committing to like 2 or 3 a day.
Yeah, you will. You'll be fine. Stop
promising them things. I'm not. That is not the official statement. The official Male Fuzz TV statement. Connor does not speak.
I'm so hacking into the Mild Fuzz Twitter and putting that out as no. This is what's happening.
I'll just delete it later. It's fine.
You'll never know.
But that's TV news. So let me say, we're working our way through Maniac now. Episode 2 will be up by the time this news goes up, and so check out that. Like I say, we're working through the first on Hulu. We're almost done with Jack Ryan from Amazon. Again, that should be finished by now, but the delays, but episode 7 should be up soon, and then we'll finish from there later in the week. Anything else to tell you that's coming up? I don't think so. We're not far away from like Doctor Who and all that stuff, but that's not this week.
Not this week,
Yeah.
no.
Cool. There was actually some pilots we were going to try that we didn't think we were going to keep. We just thought it'd be funny to try them, but given all the delays, it's probably not going to happen. But just know that we were going to. And yes, we know Siren pilots to like get done at some point.
We've got plans.
Yeah, it's called Merry Christmas. Here's your silent pirate. Be happy. Stop telling us about it. That is us.
Well, I've got better plans than that.
If you want to support us, support the channel and the show and everything we do here, head over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. You can do that over there. You can get extra stuff and feel warm and fuzzy on the inside. If not, you can also support us by getting us on Twitter at @mailed_fuzz, tweet us out, tweet episodes out and stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you thought about the news items this week, and so on. All of it helps. But that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?